Hello friends, today we'll talk about the firewall. So what is a firewall? Use of firewall, types of firewall, limitations of firewall, smart usage of firewall. Okay, so let's get started. What is a firewall? A firewall is a network security device that monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic and decides whether to allow or block specific traffic based on a defined set of security rules. Okay, so firewall as depends upon the firewall's configurations, firewall security policies, profiles. Okay, what you want to permit for the user, what you want to block, right? So only on based on that criteria, based on that policy, that user will able to access the internet or access particular destinations, right? Other traffic will get blocked. Okay, so there are so many vendors who provide the firewalls like a Cisco, Palo Alto, Juniper, FortiGate. So many vendors are there in the market who provides the firewall. So the symbol you can see the firewall and a wall. Okay, so it's basically the symbol in our networking document. So it shows the presence of the firewall. Okay, so use a firewall. So basically, firewall you use to control the traffic, right? Manage and prevent from unwanted attacks, threats for which we require a firewall. So the types of firewall, so there are so many types of the firewall, like packet filtering firewall, circuit level gateways, stateful inspection firewalls, application level gateways, next generation firewalls, software firewalls, hardware firewalls, cloud firewalls. Okay, so there are some examples you can see. Stateful inspection firewalls like Cisco ASA, that is stateful inspection, right? Application level gateways like proxies, right? If you are using some proxies, okay, in a machine, so that's a proxy. Next generation firewall is like Palo Alto firewall, right? The software firewalls, the antiviruses, if you are using this. Cloud firewalls, we have the AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, where we are using the cloud firewalls as well. So these are the so many types. So we'll talk about the next generation firewalls like Palo Alto coming videos. Okay. So the limitations of firewall, the firewall is a security device. It also supports routing, switching as well. It depends on the type, but the routing or the switching is not a primary task of a firewall, and that we need to keep in mind because if you have a firewall, okay, and you are mostly doing the routing, you're doing the BGP, you're doing an OSPF, there are tremendous routing configuration on it, and you also need to do some switching on it. Even though if it is supporting, you will not able to configure such a things which is granularly you can configure on a router or a switch. Okay, you can't do, or that features won't be available on the firewall. Okay, so even though if it is supporting a routing or switching, but with some limited features. Okay, so depends upon the vendor, but not all the firewall supports all the routing and switching features which is available in our normal router and switches, right? So that we need to keep in mind. So every security rule or a policy needs to be properly configured. Otherwise, a single hole in a firewall will be vulnerable to whole network. So if you have even 100 of rules, security policies which you have configured, but a single rule which is wrongly configured, which is widely open, then no matter how 100 other security rules you have properly configured, but a single security rule which is widely open and which is permitting unwanted access, then everything is wasted. Okay, so advanced firewalls need to keep updated with latest updates and patches to prevent from latest attacks. So if you have a firewall, okay, if you have advanced firewalls and you already have these advanced firewalls to you know keep updated, to prevent from the latest attacks, right? To prevent from the latest attacks, you need to keep it updated with the latest patch, latest updates. Sometimes you need to install the latest OS, right? Latest operating system, right? So you need to keep in mind that. So if you have a firewall, you need to keep it updated, not other, in the router and switches where we need to know, even though it's the last 10 years, if you are not updated your router and switches, no matters if you don't have any, particular feature which is coming in a latest OS. If you don't require that, you don't need to update a router. But in case of firewalls, you need to keep it updated, right? Not all the firewalls works at a granular level or prevent all the attacks. Okay, so again it depends on the vendors, and type of firewall. So if you check the firewall's feature statements and the vendors what exactly features they are providing. So there are so many firewalls not actually preventing from all the attacks, right? Like if you want to prevent from the DDoS, okay, even the advanced firewalls having some limitations, you need to ask for the ISP or you need to go for the third party vendor for the DDoS attack prevention. Okay, so that we need to keep in mind, right? So zero day attacks prevention, so that's a different thing. So you need to install a firewall on the server itself, to prevent that attack. So even though if you have a firewall, you need to keep in mind you are not preventing all the attacks, right? You need to always, it depends upon what critical setup is you have, and based on that you need to uh, configure like that. So too many rules or restrictions may degrade the user performance or drop the user's legitimate traffic, right? So if you have a big setup and there are hundreds of rules and thousands of rules you have configured into your firewall, so it may degrade the performance because of top to bottom that it checks the security rules. So and there are so many uh, profiles you have configured on the firewall, and so user performance may degrade. So when you are configuring a security rule, you need to keep in mind that how many rules you have in your firewalls and what kind of security you are providing. So based on that you need to configure the security firewall. Okay, now the smart usage of firewall. So whenever you want to choosing the firewall, you need to understand what are your requirements, and based on that you just need to choose the right firewall. Okay, place the firewall at the right place, which is a very important part. Okay, what you want to prevent, from what you want to prevent, and where where is the right place, whether you want to in front of ISP, or you want front of your router or switch, or what is the best place for your firewall, that we need to consider first, and based on that you need to place your firewall. Okay, design the security posture and keep it updated. Okay, so once you have a firewall, so you need to decide what is the posture. What it means, require multiple type of zones, if you have a zone based firewall. Okay, so what kind of posture you are going to configure, right? So trust to untrust, what particular access you want to provide to the users. Okay, from internal to external, what are the things you need to provide, from external to internal, right? So there are so many things that we need to consider, right? So auto updates and threat prevention needs to be on place to avoid manual intervention. So that's the one thing, because so many vendors who provides the automatic update, right? Automatic threat prevention update. So even your security rules are configured with the security profiles. So the latest patches get installed automatically when they are available and automatically get applied. You know, it will prevent the uh, latest updates automatically without any manual intervention. So that we need to keep it. Okay. So traffic needs to be properly monitored and analyzed to get the best results. So even though if you have firewall properly configured, everything is there, but still you need to monitor it, because every time you need to keep it update. If you find something, the traffic is a malicious traffic, or what you can do, in a configuration side, or from user perspective, or what you can improve in your network, for that we need to analyze the traffic, and apply it accordingly. So summary. So in today's date, firewall is a very crucial part of network, right? It's a very important in every organization who wants to protect from the attacker, from the malicious traffic, so we require the firewall. Choosing the best firewall, placing it at the right place, and the proper configuration is a key of a secure environment. Monitoring and analyzing the traffic regularly and keeping security posture updated keeps network security ready to prevent most of the attacks. Okay, hope you understood what is a firewall and how the firewall works, right? If you gain some knowledge, please like and subscribe. Thank you.